Vi tänkte att vi skulle börja med att ta de här frågorna vi har fått in på mejlen. Kommer det in någon ytterligare fråga eller någon följdfråga så får ni jättegärna bara skriva in dem, så är det någon här som sitter där framför mig som kommer då meddela mig att det har kommit till en ny fråga, och då tar vi därifrån helt enkelt.
Jag kan köra lite. Ska jag ta och läsa upp frågorna?
Ja, du kan läsa upp frågorna.
Ja. Vi har en fråga från Sofia Svensson. Har skrivit: Can you add metadata to websites yourself? Och jag kan ta den. De vanligaste content management-systemen på marknaden har möjlighet att göra detta. Och det innebär att det finns fält att fylla i kopplat till sidorna på ens hemsida. Så till exempel typ 3 har det inbyggt. Vissa av de här systemen kräver att man har ett speciellt plugin, en modul, för att kunna göra det. Men absolut är det möjligt.
So we're people asking if you could do it also in English, because some of them are like to understand the word. So we can have a mix of both languages.
So I can take the answer in English as well. So the most of the common content management systems has the function for adding metadata to pages. So for instance, in Typo 3, it's a basic option. And for some of the other content management systems, there are plugins, modules that you can add to place this text in.
Ja. Jag tror också det är viktigt att understryka här att metadata kan man lägga in på flera olika ställen, alltså inte bara på själva sidinnehållet utan även på bilder i form av alttexter och liknande. As I said, I think it's important to add also, so metadata should not only be put in on the pages, but also like on images, so people can find the images more easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the next question. Should we just do it in English, maybe? We have one question from Mats Gustafsson. When launching a new service, let's see, it's in Swedish, so I just need to translate it quickly. For new service, that would mean that no search is done by, for instance, Google. Is the PPC advertising connected to social networks? So how can we increase the conversion for buying and not click because of this?
So it's a good question, because PPC usually drives conversions that are not only traffic, but not only qualified leads, but also traffic that is not qualified, and people that, as you said, they are just curious and check your annons, your AdWords. And it's good that people are curious, but to minimize the clicks that are not qualified to get to your website and probably don't have high chance to convert, it's good when the expectation of the person that clicks on the ad announce will be connected to the page that is also that contains the relevant content that is also mentioned in the ad. And also, if you want to get higher conversions, you don't have to forget about call to actions and buttons that will lead to the actual conversion.
Next question we have is from Matthias Beams. What is the difference between inbound marketing and digital online marketing?
I can take that.
Yeah, so I've been working with inbound marketing for some time right now, and these two terms are quite interchangeable: the digital marketing and inbound marketing. And mainly, the digital marketing also includes media, which means focusing on what you want to say to other people and spread it out and sponsor it, put investment into it. And digital inbound marketing, on the other hand, is pulling customers. instead of saying what you want and wait for people to come, you usually create relevant content that people search for. You know who you are trying to target, so you know what content goes to what person and what the person wants to see. And when the people are satisfied, they turn into leads. So inbound marketing is very connected between marketing and sales. And yeah, so once you get the relevant people on your website, it's much easier to convert them into actual sales, and your conversion rate is going to increase by using these techniques.
Yeah, and that also takes some demands from the sales organization or the people that is actually handle the click itself. So I think it is important to address that if somebody is actually clicking on this email, if it is like putting your email address, somebody needs to handle it on the other side, and that is a human interaction. And that must be done in a processed and professional way. So every inbound will be handled in a good way, and also in a way that's appropriate for just that target.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
We have one question from Jens Elster. What do I have to do to get a higher ranking in a Google search?
You know, I think that it's we have to distinguish that to start with. To get higher ranking, it's not like a sprint when you do just one thing. You have to consider this effort like a marathon. It will not be just one specific thing you do to get you higher on Google. It's actually a work in progress, and always work in progress. It's just like we do this once a year or anything like that, or it doesn't help if you like put up content just during one type of semester. You have to work it continuously and do it in different ways. And to start with, we can talk about the technical aspect, and I think Victoria can answer some of the things regarding what some of the CMSs that we work with can do.
Well, one thing I want to say is that it's so important to, for instance, work with the start page, to continuously update it, because if you don't do that, then there is no point in doing the other things on the other pages. So work with having plugins or something like news handling, and making sure to add news every week, every second week, to have some differences on the page for the search engines when they come. Also, it's important to work with the content to make sure that the content you have on the pages are relevant, that there is a connection to the title tag, for instance, from the content as well, using the correct headers on the pages. Yeah, so those are some things that you can do. And yeah, with the content management system, I think that's more easy than doing like a hard-coded website. Yeah.
And also, I think that with using the technical aspects, you need to have like a CMS that really provides that possibility. And on the other hand, we have also that you need to have some kind of strategy to work with, because you need to continuously work with this. It's like a process, and you used to stick to your plan and have a specific plan for your target group that you want to influence. So I think you cannot just say you have to do one thing right. You have to do several things right, and you have to do it in a planned manner. So what is your take on it?
Yeah, not to forget to mention that you definitely have to look at your data over time and compare whether your SEO tactics have been successful. And it takes, as we mentioned earlier, quite a long time to see the result of your SEO activities. but you can see whether or not it has been a good or less good result, and optimize whether according to your results, what you see in your analytics or other SEO results.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have one question from Frida Lund. Mobile get-on is something that's mentioned a lot. So she's wondering, what does this imply, the so-called mobile get-on?
Yeah, I think that is a very funny word because it sounds like the end of the day, but it is quite essential for a lot of small businesses, for instance, because in terms of resources, it can take some resources, and you have to do some action to not get lower ranking on Google. So the thing is that Google knows that 50% of all the searches that the people do is done with a mobile device. So for Google to enhance the experience of using Google for those who are using mobile, they have to prioritize searches that is actually mobile friendly. So, and it's because Google want to give a good experience to those who uses the services. So if you, for instance, you do a search on shoes when you're on town, Google will list you the top pages that is on that term in your city, but also because you're searching it with a mobile, it will give you the rank. They will put the higher rankings to those who have a mobile-friendly site. So it's a lot of have to do with Google trying to do a good experience for their users. And from our perspective, as a vendor for web solutions, I think we need to adapt to that as well, and we encourage our customers to do like responsive websites that we do today. And we at Pixelant, we have done responsive websites for I think it's 3.5 years or something. So most of the modern CMSs have it, but it's something that you need to do. You can't be like 2015 and for the future to not have a mobile friendly site. Yeah.
Lily Monson is wondering what the trends are for the SEO in 2015.
Yeah, maybe you can start.
No, you can.
I can start. Yeah. All right. I think that there are some different trends as we see. If you look at the different design, we have 2 or 3 big companies that really pushing a new design, and that pretty much define what people find beautiful. So, for instance, Google have a framework of using a design, and it's quite good looking. Then we have Apple is also pushing the design part, and we have Microsoft obviously. So, and Microsoft are actually using a lot of flat design in their Windows 8 and so on. So that pretty much define what we find beautiful. And that also applies to the websites that we find beautiful, and we can see that there are a lot of big images, and we are using a lot of video online, and it is actually a part of the bandwidth enhancement that have been done. So today it is it's not a problem for instance for websites that have a video on it, because people have a good bandwidth and it gives a good impression. And that is one thing. The other thing is that we need to, another trend is that we need to make sure that the people that links to us are relevant. So people that are linking to our page is actually in our topic. So if you look at like black hat users, they will actually be downgraded because there is no those pages that are linking to your site is not relevant at all. So you need to make sure that people that link to your site is relevant, and not only relevant, but they should actually enhance your services or products. Yeah, and obviously you need to make sure you don't have a lot of 404 sites, so you don't have broken links. That is also very important. And then you need to continue to content that is relevant for your site, and you need to have a keyword strategy. So you make sure that at least 50% of all the content you put up is actually relevant for your services and products. And another thing that is we're getting more and more used to that work with good images, because we have seen web pages that uses good images to get a bigger impact on the content. So people love good images, and make sure that those images are in high quality. Yeah.
Okay, so we have Jenny Olson, and she is wondering what are the main inbound marketing KPIs, what to measure.
I can take this one. So the KPI means a key performance indicator, and in digital marketing there is plenty of them that you can choose and focus on, and also it depends on what your business is about, who are you trying to target, what your current strategy is. So in inbound marketing, there is also a lot to choose, but I choose the top 5 ones that everyone should think about when they're dealing with these channels. So first off, which is the most obvious, is the revenue on your inbound marketing. It's not an easy number to find because, of course, your revenue depends on many things, on your offline sales, on your other media channels, or how your salespeople perform, if you have any events, campaigns, and so on. But when you find this number, you will see the actual bottom line on your activities. But for this number, also it can help you to look at what your organic traffic is, for example, which you can find in Google Analytics very easily. The higher the organic traffic means that many people come to your search engine and check out your website compared to your competitors. So you rank high and you are relevant to what people search for. Then there is customer lifetime value. It is a very interesting KPI because it is connected deeply to inbound marketing, especially when you use some marketing automation software, for example, like we use HubSpot. And we start with creating leads, traffic that is interested in our content. And we can follow up on those leads by creating campaign pages or different types of posts on social media, or using email campaigns. And we can see how those leads perform, where do they engage, what do they do, what call to actions they get to, and what goals do they fulfill, and if they convert in the end of the channel. And this lifetime customer value can show you what customer actually converted, how many times, and how to cross-sell or resell to these customers in the end. These are the top that I think is the most important for digital marketer.
Yeah, that was a quick summary. Yeah, there's like a lot of information there.
Yeah. So Andres Fernandez is wondering if there is any channels that are better when for women and also for men than others. What are
the differences? If there is any channel that is
I actually know what channels are good for women because I'm a woman. But in social media, of course, prevails majority women for many of them. It is, of course, Pinterest and Instagram where the images prevail. Also, Facebook is more for women, but also it depends what your page is about. And it is always good to check out the insights on who is going to your page and see what gender is more popular on your page. Do you know some insight about where men are the best?
You know, it actually is in a study that I have seen. It seems like women are actually more active on every social media, besides one actually, and that one is LinkedIn. I think people have some ideas because of why men are more interested in LinkedIn, but I think where you have the most where you have the level that is the most equal is actually on Twitter. So Twitter is not that women-centric, it's more or less equal in the use of Twitter. But in Facebook, Tumblr, Pinterest, Instagram, there is a majority of women users. And also, it's not about that there are more, they're using it more often as well. So I think, like for instance, in Pinterest, it's like really a high percentage of women. I think it's about 85% in an article I wrote, and 85%. I think they were using it like even 4 years after. It was still very active on Pinterest. So for your specific question, I will recommend Pinterest.
Yes. So, Per Johansson says, I'm changing my domain name. How does that affect my traffic? How can I minimize losses? What about changing host provider? Does that affect your results? Can just say when you're changing your domain name, it's very important that you redirect, I guess, the traffic from Google. Do a good redirect, so you don't lose any valuable links on the search result.
Yeah, and the ease of redirecting also depends what CMS you use. For example, we deal with WordPress and Typo3, and it is really quick process. If you don't use a CMS, it is a little bit more longer process. So you have to take a look at your HT files and htaccess files and see what links to redirect and so on. But the search engines. For some time, it could take, for example, 3 months. They are still indexing both of your pages, so you have to also think about what people are seeing. You have maybe a little bit problems with your branding because your old page looks totally different, so you have to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
And the other point with changing like the provider or the host, that wouldn't really affect.
For bigger company, I really recommend you to have like a specific domain experts that handles all your domains, because it is quite some work to make sure that you have one provider that anybody, for instance, if you want to change a provider of CMS, or you want to change provider of your email services, it is good for them to have just one partner to call when it comes to your domain. So and make sure that those are experts, so you don't that you make sure that they know absolutely what they're doing, because the domains do not just affect your website, it can affect all the services that is critical for your business. So make sure you have a good domain provider.
So the next one is from Martin Persson. How much time do I have to devote into inbound marketing, and how long does it take to see results?
So basically a lot, but it also depends. It depends on everything almost. How big your company is, how strong is your website on web, how new it is, how good rankings you have, how many campaigns and how many sales you have, what your business is about, and so on. But of course, you cannot expect the results to come over time in one day. Sometimes you can be really lucky and viral and you can get traffic as fast as possible, but the long term and the quality results and conversions that turns into sales, you have to wait for 3 to 4 months to see through. And of course, you cannot forget about first starting with the goals and the strategy and stick to them through the whole time. So see who you are targeting, where you're coming, and whether your campaigns are aligned, and optimize them in the meanwhile.
Yeah, so then again, it's more like a marathon than as a sprint. You have to consider that you have to at least wait 3 or 4 months to actually measure something and then just continue with the strategy.
Yeah. Fredrik Lindström is wondering if blogging increases his SEO.
Blog is one of inbound marketing channels, but yeah, people haven't considered it before, since inbound marketing is kind of a new marketing strategy. But the answer is actually quite yes and no, because if your blog is on a subdomain that is not directly connected to your domain, you use it as maybe generating a lot of new content, and you can see while posting what articles are successful, what not, what keywords work. You can experiment with different things and discuss hot topics and generate more interested people into your company. But if these people don't go to your homepage, you still don't increase directly your SEO. So it's kind of indirect impact on your homepage SEO.
Yeah. So if you do a blog, make sure you link back to your homepage so you can actually generate business out of it.
Don't forget call to action.
Yeah, call to actions.
Yes, so we have Andreas Martinsson, and he writes little off topic. What tools do you recommend to do the type of screencast and webinars that we are doing right now?
So, for instance, when we are doing this thing right now, we are using Hangout, and that is very cool to use for live webinar and stuff like this. And also you can do screen sharing. So I could just press a couple of buttons and you can see my screen. And so if you're going to do screen sharing and not like this live broadcast, if you're going to do like screen sharing, I recommend like Hangout or Skype. They are free and they are very good to use. And if you're going to do it more professionally, for instance, in a sales process, I recommend you GoToMeeting. You can have up to, I think, 10 audiences in GoToMeeting, and it works really good. But then also, maybe there can be some times when you want to just do like a demo and record it and edit it, and like you're doing a very professional education video. And there is actually a good amount of free tools you can use. For instance, SVid and Camista Studio. And for Mac, for instance, there is a very easy tool that is called I Show You. So with those screen recording tools, you could actually do the video, and then you can put on the voice after it. So you can, and then you can edit in any easy to use video editing tools, and there are a lot of them. If you just Google it, you'll find that there's a lot of video editing tools out there, both free and paid ones are very good.
I think you are getting questions in the chat, so maybe you would like to answer some questions from the people that are sending questions in the chat. Can you see?
No.
Well, I can make the question if you want.
Yeah.
So Matthews Åkesson, his question is, how does automation impact SEO? What automation is good? Or, for example, will using IFTT or Zapier to spread a message widely improve or punish your search results? What automation is essential?
Are you talking about marketing?
Yes, marketing automation.
The marketing automation is very good for seeing the workflow, what is going on with your current people who come to your website. And can you repeat what?
And then he also wonders, how does automation impact SEO?
Okay. Well, SEO is mainly connected to search engines. So being able to to be ranked high, it will. Yeah, there is a connection between the marketing automation, but mainly the marketing automation will help you to create the conversions in the end of the customer journey. You have
From my recommendation is actually for email instances where you have in the sales process, you could, if people have downloaded some specific document, you could automate that maybe for after 1 week they will receive one email, and after 2 weeks after that email you could actually try to give him another topic that is similar to the one he downloaded the first time, so you can keep the customer in the loop to make sure that he uses your services or your product or buys your product in the end. So I personally think that if email automation can be done in a good way, but you have to make sure that people give their email addresses for the right reasons, and that way you can use personas to actually identify what type of customer he or she is.
And we have another question from Mitch De Leon that he says, hi from the beach. He's on holidays and he is watching our live chat. Thank you, Mitch, for that. And he says, can you speak about SEO strategies around building relationships, bloggers, influencers, brand advocates, brands, and creating authentic brands, more socially and customer sensitive?
I think we have to break that question down a little bit. Can we just take the first part?
Can you speak about SEO strategies around building relationships, bloggers, influencers, and brand advocates?
Yeah.
Well, I guess more like how you can deliver your message, how you can make visible your message probably to the SEO, like how you can make probably that bloggers and influencers, they can come into your content. I assume, I don't know.
All right, so I think if I understand the question right, he's trying to understand how you can influence other bloggers and stuff like that. I think that everybody has some different thing that we want to, how we can influence another body, anybody. So if for instance, if you're selling like merchandise for the gaming industry, you maybe want to target a group that is actually blogging about the gaming industry, and for them you could actually do giveaways and do competition with them, and also you may want to make sure that they drive traffic to your site, and when they drive traffic to your site and they put up links on their site, they will increase your SEO. So that is a way, and that is a way to work with the relationship with other influencers, like a blogger or something like that. And another way could be like make them have competition, and you can be like the sponsor of that competition. And there is several different ways to actually influence, and that is basically the relationship selling that you need to look into.
So we can continue with the questions we have.
Yes. So Maria Mansour is wondering, what tips can you give to create marketing for a small company?
You know, I think one important thing for like a small company to start with digital marketing or start with inbound marketing is actually that make sure that you can handle your task. So if you have like a Facebook page, or you have like this Twitter channel, or you're using a blog, or using news on the website, I think you should, first of all, you should start with having a good website, because it is your home base. It is your main window to the world, and it's up there 365 days a year, and it's 24 hours open. So make sure your home base, your website, is up to date and it has good relevant information. That is number one. Number two is have a strategy where you actually follow up on your efforts. So choose a couple of different medias that you want to work with, and be consistent in updating. Because if you come to a website and in the news section there are zero news, it doesn't look serious to the customer, to the visitor. So if you have like this news section on your web, make sure there is content, and make sure that it's not only content during the winter holiday when you say nice holidays to everybody. You need to make sure that you have information during the whole year. And if you work with social media, make sure you have like this strategy that you will update every 2 weeks, or you will update Facebook every 2 weeks, and you'll update something on Twitter every week, and so on and so on. So make sure you have a strategy and you follow up on it. That is the best tips I can give.
And I can add that, as you mentioned before, maybe your budget may be a little bit limited, but you should focus. So you should pick something that you will go into and get as much data as possible about what you are going to do. And who are you talking to? So, for example, on Facebook, you would use different communication to those people and see how it works, who is coming there, and how can you use and utilize this network to get the most out of it.
Yeah, I think I would like to add also to use like affiliates, because if you are a small client, you have a small business, you want to make sure there is some partnerships out there that could benefit from your services, and you will benefit from their services. So, and therefore you can do like marketing together. Maybe you can have one of his topics on your email marketing, and make sure that he has something of your topic on his email marketing. And email marketing is also a good way to start to gather email addresses. Is a very good way to start, because you might not use email marketing right now, but maybe in a year or two, you will actually have maybe a bunch of email addresses that you can influence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, Emma Hansson is wondering if there are any good free tools that you can use for your...
Yeah, free tools. Everybody loves free tools. So do we, actually. So excellent question, and obviously, there is a lot of good free tools out there, and I think we can direct start with the biggest one. If you're not into Google Analytics, you should start today, because that is a very good tool to measure the performance of your website. Because if you're doing a lot of work on your website, you don't have visitors, you have to figure out what you're doing wrong. So Google Analytics will could get you some insights on that. So use Google Analytics and work with it properly. That is a free tool from Google. Also, we have another tool from Google, that is Google Trends, that you want to see if there is any keywords or people any search terms that could be benefit for your services and products, and make sure that you use that tool to analyze if something is trending or not, and if you can use that to your benefit. Yeah, you can talk about some others.
Oh yeah, so there are some SEO tools that you could use. Some companies have really good paid tools that also have some free smaller tools that will analyze your websites, such as Moz. And the Raven tools have really good tools that connect all your SEO plus even social media to have a big picture of what is going on in your data. Very good backend SEO tool is called Screaming Frog, where you can see what meta descriptions are missing, what titles are missing, what image descriptions are missing, which are really important, and you can get overview, and in 5 minutes you will see whether your website is healthy inside and how your SEO is doing. So I would recommend these.
Yeah, excellent. I think that was the last question actually, and is
something you would like to add?
There was one more in the email.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's one here. We can talk a little bit more about.
So we have another question that somebody emailed.
Yeah,
us.
it was about like can you share some cases? Which he asks, the question is, can you share some use cases where challengers sales were leveraged in tandem with Pixelant Resultify? Maybe you can share some experience where you have worked together. Well, we have worked together, Resultify and Pixelant. Can you share that experience?
Yeah, so we have we can't discuss a lot of clients, but we have one that is very public, that is actually on our website, and it is MSO, that is an orchestra web page, and yeah, maybe you can talk something about it. But the thing is that we won with design from Resultify. We actually won Svenska Designpriset. That is actually one of the biggest prize you can get for web design. And we as Pixelant, as a technical vendor of CMS, we did everything in the back end, and we programmed obviously the design that we got from Resultify. And we're very proud of it, because it works really good on mobile devices.
And the Resultify and Pixelant, not only in this case, but with many clients, we work closely together when we have similar projects. And from the beginning, our cooperation starts in very early stage. As soon as the client makes a wish to have a new website, we start with a strategy. So it is not starting with design, what colors they want, but we say, what do you want to do with your website? What do you want to say? And who do you want to target? And as soon as we have these main answers to these questions, we start with designing the website, but every single element has to have some kind of purpose on the page. So it is not just about design and layout, and it starts with actually SEO and the goals. So this is the task of Resultify actually, and Pixelant delivers an excellent technique.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, that is pretty much answer the question.
Yeah. So yeah, they are wondering like if you can repeat the case of Pixelant and Resultify work together, because it was not like very clear.
Unfortunately, the site doesn't look as it should because of the content that it's putting today, because they're actually transferring to another site. But still, the case is on pixelant.se, and if you go to kundhistoria, I think that is the link, you could find in customer stories, you can find the case called MSO. And it's it's Malmö Symfoniorkester that we won the Swedish Design Prize for.
So something else that you would like to add? Probably you can share with our audience your emails, how they can contact you.
Yeah. The best easy way to find me is to just send an email at Pablo at pixelant.se. So, and my contact is also on the pixelant.se webpage, and you can find me on contacts. And there is a picture, and it's you obviously have seen me, so you know who am I on the page.
I'll write it at the same time. So please.
Yeah, I am on Resultify webpage, and my email is andrea@resultify. So if you have any questions regarding inbound marketing, SEO, or any digital marketing media related questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, and if you have questions regarding the SEO within the content management system, handling that, you can contact Victoria with C at pixelant.se.
All right. Thank you for this broadcast, and hope to follow up on this.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a nice summer.